Welcome in to this week's episode of Untold Stories, a weekly D&D campaign set in the world of Elvoria. We are back with these wonderful humans to roll some dice, attempt some questionable accents, and hopefully tell a decent story. We will whistle through the announcements. Reimagined series for the 4 classes that various people here are playing are available in the DMsGuild. The links will be down below, as are the links to the NPC art from Aderyn Angiolini on the Art Venture Guild and at Live Doodles for the character art. But I want to get on with our story. So, last time out, having moved through the forest, heading northwards and towards the ruins that you'd seen on the maps, you had come across an altercation between local lizard folk tribes and troglodytes. The ensuing brawl, after an initial tenuous decision as to whether you were going to get involved, eventually you did as the tide turned against the lizard folk, who you had deemed, if of either of the sides, the one that you could negotiate with best. Jumping into the fray, you aided them and successfully slaughtered the troglodytes through your various means, including let slip the dogs of war that is Ximori, channeled and kept relatively calm by a slightly horrifying story from Aderyn's childhood that played out in their mind. We also learned that Pebble is a very good movable cover / crossbow mount, and Lesley looked elegant jumping over ruins in the middle of the forest. Upon completion of the fight, a couple of you harvested some troglodyte bits, as per your side quest with Carol the chemist. And some of you also negotiated with the lizard folk, the leader of which named themselves Kezar and gave Balrick a orange-dyed piece of crocodile skin as a token of thanks and recognition. Meanwhile, on the other side, Tauri, we will jump back in with what you were doing. We jump back in with you investigating around these ruins. The lizard folk at this point have stepped back. They have no interest in going towards the Witch of the Woods, as they called it, in the direction that it takes you, and look to essentially go back and tend their wounds after the battle that they'd had and take the few dead lizard folk of their scouting troop back to wherever their camp is. You were looking around to try and discern what this place is. You found a couple of more modern etchings into the stone, including Fiddler's own symbol as to where to head next. Give me a history check with advantage to carry over that investigation roll that you did previously. And we'll combine the two.
Yeah, I don't think the advantage matters. 8.
Ooh.
2 4s.
Do you have any inspiration?
I do, actually. Let's re-roll one of these. Yeah, actually, I'm going to roll a new dice.
Okay.
That is 14.
14. Slightly better. Whatever it is, it's not akin to anything you've grown up with reading in your cultures. But you kind of potter around, and the rest of you... What are the rest of you doing as Tauri kind of investigates these ruins and asks you for a bit of time for her to look around?
Resting.
Lesley's actually going to approach Ximori. And going to say to them, I saw you were really controlled in battle. You had that glint in your eye, but you didn't lash out unexpectedly. That was really impressive.
I mean,
what helped?
Aderyn was helping a lot. Oh yeah, they were talking to me in my head, and I guess it's not all bad, but They're telling me a story, and it helped me like focus a bit.
I really hope they weren't talking to you about Tabitha. It's dark past. Really dark.
No.
She tells me that sometimes when I'm about to go to sleep, and that's it.
Oh yeah, that surprisingly was helpful. Yeah. Like
Well,
I started seeing, the big old frog things, and like I saw them as Tabitha.
well, now I understand.
Yeah, that just got the anger up. It like pointed it in the right direction, and I mean, I see why. Well, I mean, you fight well on your own, obviously, but like, yeah, I mean,
Sometimes a bit of help, a bit of friendly voices in your head. It's not all bad.
I mean, she can take it back off me now and put it on you, though. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like she might want to continue talking about Tabitha, so I'm okay for a few minutes, so she gets out of her system.
Okay.
But I saw that. I think the distraction does you good. It's possible
so.
that Aderyn won't be able to distract you always. So I know I've seen how you've talked about my. And Leslie's gonna swish my shawls. And I thought maybe I could offer you one to help distract you. I know it doesn't go with your aesthetic. We can find something to do about all this at some point. But maybe
I
for a
stand up
couple
still covered in troglodyte blood. Like,
mud that you've put there yourself.
yeah.
But maybe a bit of colour in your life might do you some good, might also help distract you. So Leslie's gonna tie a pretty little shawl around Ximori's tree trunk of an arm like bicep.
What colour?
It's obviously purple.
Oh.
I think that's becoming the team colour, given that Aderyn is also the purple lady.
It's nice. Thank you, Lesley.
Now we're both swishy men. Oh, sorry, them.
I don't care too much, but
It's important.
yeah.
It's important we understand each other.
Yeah.
During
But
A
this,
knife, by the way. I don't know where that went.
I think I might know. As Aderyn, I guess, is like just chucking it,
just floating.
just playing with the knife. Yeah. Floated just out of Leslie's reach.
I've got my back turned so I can't see Aderyn playing with the knife.
Alright.
I like to play with Tabitha.
It's a mage.
Do you have mage hand?
I do.
Yeah, it's just, the mage hand is there.
No,
Stabbing through
she's
the mage
using the
It's
mage
not
hand to
Aderyn's
stab
hand.
her own hand.
The game is to stab the fingers, right?
Hey.
Just stabbing a mage hand's fingers repeatedly.
Meanwhile, while all that's been going on, Tauri, you've been kind of scavenging around, and you're a little frustrated because you thought this place would be like more. There'd be more to this place, but eventually you kind of like circle in and around, and eventually come towards the center. And what you do kind of piece together is that in this center, where there's a lot of stone, kind of like cracked and broken, that your mind's eye takes a look at, and Togrim, you notice this stonework too, but like you only notice it because Tauri's approached it, and your mind just instantly kind of pieces it together. Like all this stonework, while it has been like worn down over time and erosion, much like the continents of our world, you can mentally kind of like piece them together, kind of thing, and to the point of where they form like a central slab that looks you would guess like an altar slab that sits pretty much the center of these ruins. And on close look, Tauri, as you get a closer look at this, you can see that there is runes or or script work kind of etched into some of these stone pieces.
I'm guessing the words mean nothing.
What languages do you speak?
Common, Draconic, and Dwarvish.
Nothing like any of that. There's other people around. Do you have other things?
Is it gnomish by any chance?
It's not.
That's all I got.
Guys,
I suppose it's my surprise language.
can any of you read this?
Read
And
what?
I'll point it at to them.
Message me your surprise language to remind me, Chris, if you want it to be a surprise.
I look at Elvish.
Elvish, was that down there?
Yep.
Elvish.
It's not Elvish, but it's similar in design.
Is it sexy Elvish? Lesley might be able to.
For the Tolkien equivalency, like, think Sindarin versus Quenya kind of concept. Like, you can see that they're related, but they're not the same thing.
Chris is like, say no
Whoever
more.
was
looking
doing
at Chris.
this,
I was just looking at Chris. I got to like, Chris will get this.
whoever wrote this, they don't know how to write anything. I mean, what's quick slitting like? That's not a word.
So, what did it say?
It's in Elvish. It's not in Elvish. It's
not in Elvish.
It's a similar root to Elvish, but it is not Elvish.
Hang on, let me read it. Wistin the Flurgabad.
Any other weird languages that people have? They want to check off lists.
Undercommon. Dwarvish. Halfling.
Y'all have so many languages.
I presume it's probably in Sylvan. Or may have something similar. Sarah's got Undercommon, maybe.
And a common.
Can I copy the writing into my notebook?
Yeah.
Stone rubbing.
I will use a spell to do it, so it's quicker.
I thought you had comprehend languages.
Comprehend languages only works on spoken.
No, it doesn't.
does
Works
not.
on written.
Comprehend languages for the duration. Oh, you do. Sorry, I only.
Comprehend
As someone who
language.
uses it reciprocally, can never say that word.
It's not a word.
A lot.
Fine, then I will say
I
I'm
know
going
it
to
does.
take 10 minutes and then cast it.
During that 10 minutes, is anything else anyone wants to do since Tauri's found a thing or harvesting,
How
or
long?
just gonna chill?
How long into the day are we?
You're past lunchtime at this point.
Oh, that means it's wine time.
Wine and cheese time.
Is that not?
And honey.
You're probably looking like 3, nearing 4 in the afternoon.
We can get out the blackberry liqueur.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's hard
Probably-
spirits time.
Have the lizard folk kind of left us to it?
Yeah, the lizard folk had left. They've taken their dead and wounded back to the camp, and they bid you adieu. And basically have
skill,
said they've made it very clear you are now officially in their territory. Don't linger. None of the other lizard folk know about you, kind of thing. Like, we can't promise what other groups will do.
Just gonna like pile the troglodytes up like at the edge of the territory.
But,
Like from the direction the troglodytes were coming in, just pile
Gotcha.
the corpses there. As a warning to the others.
fucking grim. Are you lashing them up or just piling them?
No, just pile. Ooh, I could lash them up.
No.
I'm just gonna throw them into the trees like a
like a leopard.
like a leopard saving its kill for later. Just
Fucking metal.
Was there a map of the area we had at some point?
We couldn't take it with us. It was on the floor.
Yeah, it was on
Was it
the
on the-
wall. It was like
okay.
pretty on the wall. You've got a decent mental picture of it, and someone maybe took a sketch of it. We can reasonably assess
The
that.
lizard folk said north.
Yeah, I was just trying to wonder where the boundary of the lizard folks' like territory is, so that we don't stick around in their territory. But I also don't think we should stick around here for long,
Yeah,
or
so
rather, we shouldn't be traveling in the dark. That's what I was going to say.
you kind of had essentially been traveling through their territory up to this point.
Yeah.
So if there's nothing else, Tauri eventually completes her 10-minute ritual spell, and what does it look like when your spell completes?
The way Tauri kind of does it is she ends up drawing markings in the air that then kind of will swirl around and then basically just go into her eyes and ears, and then her eyes take on like a slight blue glow.
Out here in the wild, that doesn't raise any concern from the local populace, although, Ximori, you get a slight uncomfortable itch.
I go back to throwing corpses into trees.
Yeah.
That's weird.
There's this very faint blue glow on Tauri's eyes as you scan this. Now, it is broken. Even if it wasn't broken, like, it wouldn't be sentence. It's words of importance and reverence and that kind of thing. You pick up a few things. 3 main topics that you pick up is a decent reference to the gods of the forest, with a heavy then like sub attachment to it or anything or specificity to it of the Lord of Still Waters. Roll me a religion check.
$16.
16. The name Lord of the Still Waters doesn't mean anything to you, but but the gods of the forest is in an empire that is a monotheistic doctrine. The gods of the forest are the old pagan religion. It is the thing that came before, that existed to shamans and druidic circles. Exactly what that is within that, you're not entirely sure. Gods can get murky, especially if you ask outside the Empire. In terms of other things using, one of the other main things that you do pick up is a lot of reference to the Eternal Woad or the Old Woad. Again, you can roll me a history check on that. And Ximori, you're a wood elf formerly?
Yep.
Roll me a history check as well.
You said history, yeah? 18.
-1. 1.
1. No idea. Don't give a shit. If that was in your head, you've long since ejected it. Tauri, however, you read about the Old Woad before, because the Old Woad existed before the Empire, and like its history is unknown in just how old it was. As far as historical texts that you found and other people have commented on, it goes back as far as records can go. 2 elements to that, though. 1, it doesn't exist anymore, but from all of your understanding of it, and you read a paper on it at some point from some book somewhere, it did used to stretch across the entire of Fae-ly, which is the region that the Empire now dominates of the continent.
Cool.
With you rolled an 18, didn't you, on that? With that 18, I would say you would piece together that if this is here and the amount of reference it's giving it to it, this wood was at least part of the Old Woad.
Cool. I still copy all the text into my notebook. Both the original and it translated.
It's like looking over Tauri's shoulder, like, the Old Woad? Is Tauri being sweepy?
That's what it says.
Oh, road, right? Not woad.
Nope, Woad.
anyone with a decent level of education determine that as per yourselves. Woad is an old term for a forest of immeasurable size. Like ancient woodland.
Ximori is done. Feel a little sleepy, little sleepy, little snoozy.
I'm glad you clarified that, because I was thinking wood, and I was like, what is it on about? Because that's not what it means.
No,
Wood
I
is like old dye?
Yeah, old mud.
Old mud?
Okay, well, I mean, we've got to find somewhere to sleep soon, probably, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm quite tired.
Yeah, I don't think we should be going and traveling towards the hag in the dark either. We should camp up before we arrive.
Yeah, let's move.
Roll me an investigation check.
Let's move on from the territory first, though. I don't think we want to be camping there. In claimed grounds. Ooh. Plus 6. 24.
As you're wandering over to kind of make this point and agree with Togrim, your foot connects with a stone, like you went to kind of just like nudge it out the way kind of thing, and the thing didn't move. And then you just take a closer look at it, and this stone is embedded in the earth by a good few feet compared to the rest of the stonework around here. Like it is meant to be part of the earth. And it has like a lip to it that like looks like could be gripped and opened.
I will try and pull.
Give me a strength check.
Ximori, I need your help over here. As I break my fingers because I got an at one.
Yeah, you break it.
Oh,
Ah, Ximori, you
Because of my
Ximori,
dominant
not good for me.
21.
Like this small stone you actually find is essentially a handle. Like you shift it up and you can get your hand fully around it, and you pull up, and this 3 foot wide slab of stone lifts up and like slides back slightly and latches into something, and you can see very rough hewn steps leading down into darkness.
Ah, sweet. Somewhere to camp.
Hold on. Let's take this cautiously.
It's like a basement
Yeah.
in a forest.
A crypt under an altar? Is that what this place is?
Does it count as a basement if there's no first floor?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
there was a first floor at some point. I say pointing at the old stones.
Someone got a
There's a
light.
ground floor, like because it's on the ground.
Can't you see, Balrick? It's...
Oh, I've got a
I-
lamp. I've got a lamp. I'm gonna plant. I've got myself a lamp in there, so.
You mean the lamp you got from Maze?
No. I bought myself a
Oh,
bullseye
the oil
lamp.
lamp. You got a bullseye lamp, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull out that bullseye lamp and.
Ah, my dark vision!
It's a bullseye lamp. It's pointing somewhere else. It's not pointing at you. It's a pointed lamp.
Sure. As that you can now see, and these head down. Yeah, with that, like you can see where they flatten out, like maybe 10 feet down. These stairs, and they're, as I say, rough hewn. They're not steps. They're like etched and chiseled out stone.
I'll draw my sword and I'll edge down. Come on, someone back me up here, just in case.
Okay,
Oh.
I'll follow. Well,
I love it.
I look at
Smallest hit die in the group, and she's up for any sort of.
I look at Ximori, I go, someone back me up, look at Ximori, and Aderyn pushes in the way.
second command coming through.
Yeah,
I love it.
you got this.
She's got the adventuring
I
bow.
look back
I just cross my arms and lean against the door.
Aderyn grabs me and drags me
Aderyn's got
forward.
this.
I look back helpless at the rest of the group, like, help me.
Leslie's gonna whisper into Ximori's ear, like, "Oh, it'd be funny if you shut that lid when they were down there."
Nah, that'd keep her trapped with him.
Right. We'll head down.
I don't know who that would be worse for.
Head down into a claustrophobic space, in all honesty.
Particularly for him.
Yeah, with your height. But like, it's not a wide channel down here. It is wide enough for one person to walk down at a time. There are what would have been sconces in the wall, but as you pass them, like, they were made of animal hide and vine stuff and have long since degraded and just fallen down. Like, you can see like torches that were once lit just on the floor unlit. With your bullseye lamp running along the side, roll me an investigation check. Both of you can, since there's enough light down here for both of you to take a look.
Just gonna like tentatively just sort of think like, Aderyn, is this how this works?
Yes, you can talk. I haven't broken the bridge, so yes.
Oh, that's weird.
You like it, yes? You see, it's not that bad.
It's doing some weird stuff with my sense. It feels like you're next to me, but I know you're not. It's strange.
It's like whispering.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
11.
14.
14. You both pick out that along the walls, etched, remarkably well carved, are pictograms of crocodilian-like creatures, crocodiles, alligators, caimans, all sorts of powerful still water reptiles, along with similar renditions of the terrain you've been walking through all day. Kind of lazy waters, low-hanging branches, exposed root trees. Balrick, you're a little bit more paying attention with close up with the lantern actually in hand. You can see there is similar scripture to the kind that was on the altar pieces above.
Aderyn, there's lighting up there. Do you want to see if you can get Tauri to come down?
Okay. I'm gonna tell Ximori in their head. Balrick says to send Tauri down, something about letters. It's very dusty down here, though. Also, whoever had this basement had a thing for scales and crocodiles.
I will say,
Like there was a mosquito next to my head.
I will say briefly, while it is dusty down here, you're right, there is moisture in the air. Coming from somewhere.
Tauri,
Yes.
Aderyn says there's more writing down there. Could you go down and read it?
Yes, of course. And I'll pop down.
Initially, you're a little blind, considering the lantern's gone down a fair while. Enough light gets you down to like the bottom of the stairs, and then you're kind of feeling your way along. You can see the light up ahead, where you eventually accidentally bump into Aderyn's back, heading towards the lantern light a bit too fast.
Sorry, I forgot you're human.
Fine.
Roll me investigate. Are you better at investigation or history?
The same.
Your choice then.
I'll do investigation to begin with because it's new writing, so you
Sure.
never know. 4. 23.
Oh, I thought you were good at these. 23. Yeah, you spend some time looking at these and the faint glow from your eyes illuminating the script where necessary. You start piecing together a fair amount of this, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything to you. But you get pieces of... you see a figure in the walls at times, like a humanoid figure who seems to be interacting with the crocodilian creatures and the waters. And you actually squeeze past Aderyn and like start moving further in with the lantern, and he's Balrick following behind you with the lantern. And you eventually come to a T-junction. Directly opposite you on the wall as you approach is a carved out figure, much more detailed relief and larger, of the humanoid you've seen a couple of times as you walk along. This figure is tall and broad-shouldered in a flowing cloak of what looks like algae and drooping branches. They seem to be rising out of perfectly still water, and their head is that of a crocodile, a long snout. And you can't tell whether that smile is meant to be reassuring or terrifying.
The answer is yes.
As you reach this point, you start like looking around the floors, and you can see a couple here and there of bones. And you have the tunnels either way. There's also script that I should also say there is like a stone surface underneath this relief where there appears to be objects placed on there as well.
Cool. Well, do I get any inkling of why the bones are here? Like,
Roll a religion check.
that is 19.
19. Based on everything you've seen and put together, your best guess is this was some sort of, not necessarily just this catacomb you're in, ritual site, where sacrifices of some sort would be conducted to whatever this figure is, this Lord of the Still Waters. Who they are, what they are, in their reverence by the worship of the old gods, the forest gods. What's your passive medicine?
I am not trained in it, so it would be, I'm guessing... Could you work
Just
it
your
out?
wisdom?
Wisdom +1 because you're bard.
+1, yeah, so +2. So,
Plus two, so
what,
12.
12?
A brief glance at the bones here, they don't scream humanoid to you. If anything, they're animal bones.
Cool.
Balrick and Aderyn, to be fair, you pick up, it's like you're standing here and Tauri's like investigating this relief in the stone. You can hear faintly lapping water coming from either end of the corridors.
I was just about to say, I want to start. You said there's moisture in the air. I feel like I'm suspicious of that. Doesn't seem right. It feels like it should be sealed.
Who heard that?
There's moisture in the air as well. It just doesn't sit right.
I think there's a swimming pool down here.
Unlikely. Definitely think we should find the origin of that.
Speaking.
I could have.
I definitely think we should find the origin of that.
Should you go left or right?
Shall we leave Tauri here or leave the lantern with her? Will you lead the way down there?
Okay.
Can I grab up one of the torches off the floor that you said was on there?
Yeah, they're a little damp, so they take a short while to light, but you can.
I was going to say, well, Aderyn, can you light this for me?
it takes a couple of attempts just due to the dampness, but like after a few attempts, the wrapping around it does get dry enough for it then to, and then a torch ignites.
Alright, Tauri, I'm gonna leave you here with the lantern to keep, investigating this. Us two are just gonna go off down this corridor to the left.
At this point, how long have they been gone?
You've got a couple of minutes at this point.
Ximori, I don't suppose you could, do you know what's going on? Has Aderyn been speaking to you?
Not at the moment, hang on.
They're not about to do something silly like splitting the party that's already split, are they?
I mentally shout because I don't know how it works over distance.
I mean, you functionally can't shout in your head. Like, that is a known fact. Try shouting in your head.
You can make your voice sound like it's shouting,
it's
just
the
at a normal
same
volume.
mental volume. It's someone said it to me once and it fucked me up for a day.
Oh, what? So I can whisper in my head, so I feel like normal talking is just shouting in the head.
I can shout in my head.
Does it change volume though? That's the question. Like, you can do the act of shouting. Like, you can make it sound like shouting, but it will be the same volume because there's no volume. All of it's silent.
But the whispering works.
Loud volume.
I can whisper, but I can't shout in my head.
See? So then is your normal talking shouting?
I don't like this.
Yes.
Cursed facts.
With the mental air of shouting, though no change in volume, call for Aderyn. Because I don't understand how telepathic stuff works over a distance.
What do you want, Muddy? We're going to go find the swimming pool.
Ah, there's a swimming pool apparently.
Well,
That sounds delightful.
Balrick doesn't think it's a swimming pool, but there's definitely water.
Balrick doesn't think it's a swimming pool, but there is water down there.
Oh, we are in a swamp.
Yeah, seems like there'd be a lot of water pretty much anywhere.
I don't like whatever Gethin just did.
I made a Shrek reference. But
Okay. You gotta be bold with your Shrek references.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Balrick is just moving ahead. Balrick doesn't know these conversations happening.
Yeah, Balrick just moves forward.
It's silent. Balrick is moving forward.
As you move forward,
Aderyn hasn't broken stride. They used
roll
to
me a
talk
perception check.
all the time.
Perception. I don't know if you can, Aderyn. You're having a conversation.
Multitask?
Please try. Yeah, actually, please try.
What was the total?
13. 17.
Yeah, thank God, because I got a 8.
Cool.
I don't think you can multitask.
Aderyn,
It says
you
walking
see it
into a
ahead
flow
of,
with
you see it
ceiling.
ahead of him. Somehow.
He's got dark. He's got dark.
He can't see in the fucking dark.
He's got a torch.
Oh.
And he has just walked into
Anyway,
his low ceiling.
He's arbitrarily looking around at the various carvings in the wall. Aderyn, you spot up ahead. The surface steps down. You see steps, and you go step, step, and then there's a level of water that the steps descend into. You see it before Balrick, and Balrick is about to step onto these steps without seeing them.
Okay.
You're there to protect him. You're one job.
You grab him by the back of the jacket with enough pull that he just takes a step, and Balrick, you look down, and you can see that these steps are heading down.
Oh,
And you see now that your firelight is catching on very still water.
Thank you, Aderyn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess we found the water.
Hey, there's not much around it either, is there?
Do you think there's crocodiles in here or other monsters? Because there were loads of posters. Maybe they were pets.
You see about the room. This is a fairly simple room. While the tunnel you're walking down is somewhat carved, the carving kind of smooths out to just rough-hewn underground cavern at this point. But around it, there's a couple of ledges where there are a few scant bones lying around, and then just the water.
I'm starting to think maybe this was where they came to feed their crocodile pets.
Something along those lines. I'm pretty sure crocodiles eat the bones. I think I'd say we should probably back up quietly and leave this bit alone.
Okay.
Speaking
There's
of
no
backing
people.
up, Tauri,
Mm-hmm.
what are you up to?
I'm just taking notes, trying to see if there's anything that leads to where more information might be.
Roll me an investigation check. Because you have a bit of time, I will give you advantage.
Thank
And
fuck.
what's your AC?
Thank God for
Natural
the
20.
advantage. Because it was a 2 and a 13 plus 4.
Cool.
17.
As I said, there's this stone shelf underneath this relief. We're looking around it. There is the nubs, the barest nubs of some tallow candles made out of some sort of animal fat. A few scant other offerings, necklace of crocodile teeth here, a detailed stitch work, leather arm binding of crocodile leather that's like meticulously put together. A few other kind of similar ritual offerings of that accord. But you do notice that just underneath the stone, there is into the wall, a hidden cubby hole. Just underneath there.
And I poke my torch towards it and see what's inside.
You poke torch towards it, and inside you can see something that looks like the edges of parchment. Like there's a stack of parchment inside.
I quickly move the torch to one side.
You've got a bullseye lantern, not a torch at this point. So
Oh, I got left the torch. Okay.
You got left the lantern, yeah. you're
I'm
fine.
going to check to make sure that there's nothing there that might bite my hand.
Roll an investigation check.
Which means there might be.
It is 23.
You went to reach your hand in, and then you saw the faintest of, is that sinew or cartilage acting as a sort of tripwire in the center of this thing, and then you notice that there is a thread of crocodile teeth lining the top that if you broke that would just snap down onto your hand.
And I get the parchment without breaking it.
From looking at that, how would you attempt it?
That's fine.
That's me genuinely asking, what would your plan be? Roughly.
It's sort of like a letterbox with a string in the middle kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't actually have much that can stop it. So what I will do is I will take my dagger and take 2 crossbow bolts. I will stick the dagger so that it is widthways pointing horizontal. So it's like this.
It's perpendicular to the slot.
I will then put the 2 crossbow bolts at either side of the slot, so that if the jaws drop, or when they drop, they hit the crossbow bolts.
Yep.
And then I will cut the thing with the dagger.
I don't think... roll me a sleight of hand check, have advantage, and also you can have inspiration for that specific solution.
Sleight of hand is
Just dex.
16.
16. You managed to
You
set
say
it
it's
up.
just dex, I get to add...
And you just... And you sever this cord, and whatever it was holding up, as these crocodile, packed in teeth of crocodile, slam down, and you hear your crossbow bolts, and then they hold, despite cracking underneath the weight, and you've got just enough space that you can slide your hand through. You might get a couple of scrapes from the crocodile teeth, but you can slide your hand through it and pull out the parchment papers.
And that is what I do.
Make a con save.
Successfully avoided the trap.
You've gained crocodile teeth injuries.
with the last few minutes, I think it's only 10 minutes for comprehend languages. For the last few minutes, anyway.
Comprehend languages is an hour.
Oh, cool. Then you got plenty.
Detect magic is 10 minutes.
Cool. You got plenty of time. You take a bit of time as you hear Aderyn and Balrick heading back up the road, the pathway, and you start flicking through this. Again, it's in Sylvan. You pick up that there's other roll me a history or religion check at advantage.
I'll be doing history.
Okay.
It's not great. It's only 12.
12. There's more in this, but you just don't have the time right now to look through.
That's fine.
With them coming back, it's one of those. If I sit down and read this whole thing, I'm going to get a lot of information. But just a quick ruffle through. The main thing you pick up is references to other sites of similar significance in the Old Woad. This isn't the only one of these places.
Mm-hmm.
And the other inference that you get from that is they are for other members of the Pantheon.
Cool.
The gods of the forest.
I will, using the... I can't pronounce the word. I always fail.
Prestidigitation? Oh, Amuniensis.
That one!
That's how I say it. It's probably wrong. But carry on.
I will use that to copy everything on these
That'll take a bit of time. It
my notebook.
Won't be the time by the time they come back, but it's something that you can do.
Yeah, it's more that, these are the originals, which could get destroyed / I may not get to keep them, but I can copy everything into my notebook.
At this point, you two come back and see Tauri with these parchment pieces and a quill moving over. I think it's a quill anyway. But you see her copying these stuff into her notebook and writing through these pages. No quill, cool. Just you see her waving a hand over a book and rifling through very old parchment. You are slightly worried that you're going to damage it because it is not well preserved, being in a slightly damp environment.
What you see is basically once the spell goes, you kind of see me holding them in each hand, and then almost like the words just kind of form like a rainbow and pour themselves into my notebook.
Nice.
That's
what you two see as you come back.
It's a reading rainbow.
Yeah.
What did you find?
Some really, really old parchment that I'm slightly worried is going to disintegrate. So I'm busy trying to copy it as quickly as I possibly can.
Alright, we'll leave you to it. There was some water that way. Weirdly, just really a pool of water.
I will make sure to avoid going that way.
Should we check the other corridor?
I will have a look. You just stay safe here, alright? We're gonna go peek out the place.
You head down the other corridor and you come to a very similar room.
And we go back. I don't think there's much else here. It looks like it goes further down, like the steps going into the water, but either way, it must be flooded or something. Unless you spotted something. I'm talking to Tauri.
I didn't see anything, but I have been a bit distracted.
I mean, I read anything, unless you've got any information.
Did I get any idea of what was down there?
I think from the information you would have had, you would have pieced together that this was where... I think you would have pieced that it's where the denizens of his forest are treated well, are fed and cared for by the caretakers of his forest.
I'm going to hazard a guess, but that's where the crocodiles eat.
I said that. Balrick, I said
Hey,
that.
fair. No, you get a good point. Smart. Fair dues.
By the way, Geth, I can copy 250 words a minute.
There is a lot.
That's fine.
A minute
I was
is a
just
fair chunk of time. You genuinely get the element like this is the equivalent of like a church log. I'm trying to. It's a cross between a holy book and a record of their history. But you eventually do head back up. Are you taking the parchment with you or leaving it behind?
I'll leave it behind.
You place it back in, and do you try to reset the trap? Or
Yes, I will try to reset the trap.
what are you going to try and what do you have to replace the sinew that you cut?
I am going to. Aderyn, could you ask Ximori to bring me down some ligaments from any of the dead bodies?
Can you just bring some spare
Okay.
ligament?
Ximori,
Yeah.
can you bring down some ligaments from the dead bodies, please?
Okay, give me a moment.
I feel like this is getting.
Later.
Yeah, you come down with some ligaments.
It is a worryingly large amount of ligaments. I've been very thorough.
Okay, that one's a bit too short. That one's really far too long. I'm not entirely sure where that one's from. I finally
What
find
ligaments are these from?
I finally find
What
one.
bone is that far apart?
Troglodytes have got popped up in that bit.
That's the reason why I'm very confused.
A tendon, maybe, but a ligament. That's not holding anything together.
You chose the wrong person to bring this up with.
You've also massively overcome. In fact, why are you going through all this trouble? Can't Togrim just fix things? Like, it's a thing that was broken in two. Can't Togrim just kind of.
Togrim and Lesley are having their wine break.
Flesh
Yeah.
with that spell?
Togrim's not magical though. It's magic.
Not magical. Just like technology-wise.
I'm not
He
entirely
ties a
sure
really
he
good knot.
I'm not
He's got
entirely
little
sure
hands as well.
Yeah. I will do
Like a
what I
chipmunk.
can to try and use the new sinew ligament I have to reset the trap.
Roll me a sleight of hand check.
Does mending work on?
This
You'll
meant
never
to
know.
work on ligaments and tendons.
I'm going to go with no. 13.
13. You built something. It's probably not as elegant or undetectable as the one that was there previously, but it fundamentally resets the trap, and you can have two pretty useless crossbow bolts back. But you may find use for them. Heavily damaged crossbow bolts.
Oh, so it's fine. As I walk back up, hey Togrim,
Yeah.
can you fix these at a later point when we stop for camp? And I throw him the two crossbow bolts.
Sure, I'll add them to my stash.
Thank you.
I feel like mending could work, because mending works on cloaks and wineskins, and I feel like both of them are made from animal matter.
It works on objects, and these are definitely no longer living.
If it ever comes up, we'll find out. You are all now back up on ground level.
What's the limit on skin? Like, where's the point at where mending doesn't fix skin?
Is the skin still technically a living organism? Living organ, sorry.
Suppose the skin's
so
done.
as soon as it's dead,
No. There's got to be enough time that the organ itself has stopped trying to replicate.
okay. But it can still be on the thing, so you can go to a day-old corpse and you can start mending on it.
I'd say yeah.
I think it's about 72 hours.
It might require a certain
I don't remember.
specialty. You'll have to be an artificer of the body rather than an artificer of metal. But you know, like you can learn how to do it.
Dark side suddenly goes into necromancy.
Okay, so
Pebbles
Wait,
if you're
hold
like
on, Steve.
heavily,
the biologist has turned up.
if you are heavily irradiated, your body completely, your immune system shuts down completely, and you are not able to like actually heal properly. Would you be able to mending on somebody who's like been exposed to a shit ton of radiation, Gethin? If their body is no longer repairing itself.
Here's where it is. Can you mending a cell membrane?
No.
Can you mending DNA?
Whoa, I mean, that's
The
bullshit.
mitochondria is the powerhouse of
Can you mend like a tiny? If you have a string, can you and like 2 pieces? Can you mend it together?
Absolutely.
String, yeah.
You can mending
Okay.
counteract
So,
destroying.
my-
No. I know where you're going with this. No.
Made of
No.
ribonucleic
You're not
acid.
repairing
Can you-
DNA with a fucking mending cantrip.
But why
You
not
have to be able to hold
Why
the
not?
edges
Because
together.
fundamentally you have to be able
to
to.
hold the edges.
As Andrew said, you have to hold the 2 objects together, and you are not physically able to do that with DNA with your hands.
What if
Can
you
you
have to be
mend
tiny
that?
tweezers?
Yeah, you can manage that.
If you cast reduce on yourself enough times to get to the size of a cell, then maybe.
Honey, I shrunk the
Different
kids.
uses.
Honey, the kids mended my
Okay.
DNA.
Getting. Can I just? There is nowhere in the reading of that spell that he says you have
You
to
have
be
to
able to hold it. It does not say that.
That's a Gethin thing. He just doesn't want us to be able to like gene edit organisms.
Thing.
If I cut
We have Togrim rewriting DNA strands.
That is fair.
I do have to be able to touch it, so I
Does
Yeah,
it
you
say
just stick your hand in.
just go.
You've got little hands, right?
Think your little hands.
That is
Togrim
Wild.
just sticks
Side note,
somebody and rewrites their DNA.
Slightly different point. I've just checked the material components of
that? 2 lodestones.
this spell, which is 2 magnets.
Yeah.
Now, last session, someone mentioned about Togrim having a railgun, and now that's a very real possibility.
Awesome.
The future
Now that
of
you've got this to my
America.
attention.
I'm imagining how that's like the one, like the +1 crossbow works anyway. So it's just used to
It's just magnets.
accelerate.
I can't believe the mending cantrip is just like magneting things together.
It's magnet. That's just bastardization.
It's just
of
putting a
magnets.
magnet on each side of something and switching it.
Anyway, you're all back together, have discussed the extent to which you can mend stuff. Togrim will take that away, I assume. What are you doing?
I mean, if we want to press on and, hope we find somewhere to camp, then that's an option, but I mean, tunnel wouldn't be a bad place to camp. It's out of the worst of the weather.
Still a couple of hours till sunset.
Yeah, we've still got ages till sunset. I think we can make time, and it's not going to be comfortable down there. It's wet and dark and damp and cramped.
And it gets everywhere.
I reckon we travel for a bit, try and find some maybe drier ground.
Yeah.
Okay. You head
We left-
off.
We left the skiffs behind, didn't we?
Yeah, you left them at the dock that you came to. You've been travelling on foot since.
Where is Derek?
Dirk? Leslie Dirk's been with the wagon this whole time.
Oh,
Dirk's got a big pile of jerky in the wagon. He's doing very, very well.
it's getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, probably not much of a pile of jerky now. I'll eliminate all 17 rations I've got.
Cool. Balrick, since I assume you're leading off, do you want to roll me a d10?
Right. Uno.
Uno. As you're travelling along, you spot up ahead. They don't seem to have noticed you. 3 small figures appear to be flitting about next to a tree, seemingly holding leaves, like curled into something, and like going up to the tree.
Leaves, actual leaves.
Actual leaves.
Actual leaves, that was on the shopping list.
Real leaves.
Real legitimate leaves.
Yeah.
I think it was ashwort.
No, it was, I think I know what I heard. Actual leaves, small stink people,
Roll me a
snake blood.
perception check, Balrick.
Uh, 19 plus 5, 24.
19. You make everyone stop
No, 24.
Sorry,
19.
You make everyone stop, and you take a look, and these things are tiny. Maybe 3 inches, 6 inches tall at most, with flapping butterfly wings, green skin, and hair of autumn leaves, chittering and giggling as they collect what you look like just rainwater in these curled up leaves.
God, there's things, these tiny creatures over there. Can you see them?
The ones with the wings.
Hey, little
They're so tiny.
little fair things they are there.
Well, those are just adorable.
They're pretty.
Little weird butterfly people.
Maybe
What do
we
we do?
could offer them some honey.
I mean, they're just little tiny things.
Maybe they'd like some wine.
You want to go offer it, Lesley?
Why do you just want to give them stuff?
They could
This seems like the right thing to do.
yeah.
We're wandering past. They seem enchanting.
Do you approach?
Do we have a little, like, thimble? Does Togrim have his normal-sized drinking cup? Does Togrim have any thimbles?
I don't have any thimbles. I'm sure I've got a cup
Get the
somewhere.
Togrim shot glass.
Little shot glass.
Like a little one.
Adding that to my inventory right now.
Sure, you have a shot glass.
Are there any, like, acorns on the floor?
Not acorn. There is a use.
Some sort of husk.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a piece of bark that's pulled off a tree that's got a nice like curvature to it that could hold some.
Yeah. Sorry, big bottle one.
Do you approach? Are you approaching them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll me a charisma stealth check.
I think I'm holding back.
No.
What's the charisma stuff?
So, are you proficient in stealth?
I believe I am.
So it is a skill check, add your charisma bonus, and add your proficiency bonus. This is you
Skill check.
approaching calmly to not spook them. So it is more about how you present yourself. Rather
Oh, well,
than
this is unfortunate. I've lost my
sneakiness.
character sheet.
I believe your dex is +3, so this should be a total of +5.
No, because she's not using
+4.
that. Even charisma.
Her charisma is +3.
Yeah.
Is your charisma higher than your dex?
No.
No,
The
my dex
charisma's
is
a
high.
3. Dex is the...
So a total +5.
So that's 22.
22. Wait, you tell everyone to wait a second, and you approach up, and these pixies just like they're surprised they see you approach, and then you're like approaching gently with this thing, and they're like, bit over. Hi.
Oh my god. Hello. Ladies,
What you got there?
I've got a little gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Can I have this?
Of course, it's a gift. It's freely given.
Thank you.
No, don't have too much. It's quite strong.
Oh. I must give you a gift now too.
Oh, that's quite kind.
She like slithers off.
At a slight angle as her liver shuts down.
Oh no.
Yeah, she just her body weight in liquid. Do it enough.
And you see her go off behind a tree and then come back. The other two like are dancing around you, like, and they've like settled on your shoulders. This one comes back and is holding a fruit of some kind, like slightly fuzzy, green and orange fruit. For you,
Oh wow.
given freely.
That looks really, really good. It looks good, right? It looks good. Green and orange. It sounds like a mango.
Balrick is very suspicious. Can I roll something? Because I lived in the Truscan Forest in Drangvik, and that's got connections to the Feywild.
An aspect of the Feywild, yeah.
Can I roll to see if I recognise something about these creatures, or I'm aware of their kind?
Roll me a nature check. I guess this would be.
It's a 2+ stuff. But not a lot.
I'm
I'm
no
unsure.
idea.
No idea.
You've never come across these before.
Is it okay if I share some of this with my friends over yonder?
It's your gift.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It is. I'm just checking. I'm sorry if this is offensive. It is edible, right? Nothing weird's gonna happen if I eat it.
I believe so.
One time I ate this funny looking little pill, and I had tentacles coming out my back, and it was a wild night. No tentacles then.
Was it like this? And she transforms into a cat with the tentacles coming out, but it's a smaller version. It is a Spacer Beast kit.
Oh! Oh my god! It's even cuter!
There's another one!
Grabs more.
It was very much like that. And Leslie's gonna pat the little cat head. Well, have a lovely day.
Thank you.
And Leslie's gonna walk towards the group, and as he turns to walk towards the group, he's gonna take a little bite out of the delicious looking fruit.
It's sweet.
Oh, sick.
Your first bite, probably does need peeling rather than just taking a bite out of. The skin's not great, but the flesh underneath is lovely. At that point, you hear, ah! And you turn around and they're gone.
Oh, what a wholesome interaction. Don't get so many of those in the world.
And then behind you, Balrick, she said, "What's that?"
Nerd.
And you see hanging down from the branches a similar kind of creature, but instead of the vibrant green, it's more dark and mottled, and its eyes are wider, and its head is tilted to one side. What'd you find then?
I didn't find out. It was my friend over there. What can I help you with?
Oh, you can help me with a lot of things. Help me tell me why you're here. Help me tell you where you're going.
So I'm mighty curious of you.
I like to know things.
We're here to get there, and we're going there.
Tricksy, aren't you?
That's not what I've been known for, but...
It's long, black hair cascades, and you see it's hanging down from the tree, and this hair's dropping down as a couple of autumnal leaves eaten away and growing, curling up, falls out of their hair. Don't match the tree that it was falling in, those leaves. As it springs back up, and there's a cloud of purplish dust that kicks up behind it as it lands on the floor. Come on now, what did you think? Give me your honest opinion.
Of what?
What you just saw.
The little fairies things.
Yeah.
Or you.
It can be of me. I'm just interested in having your honest opinion.
On anything. You made a grand entrance. It was, very surprising.
grand is not something I'm usually given. I like it. So, quite a lot of you coming through. What you coming through for? Where are you going? What you want in the forest?
Like I said, we're coming through here to get there.
Hey. Fine if you don't want to admit to anything. Not many people are brave enough to come this far in the forests. Odd creatures about.
Oh, I haven't seen any, I don't think.
Don't like you. He spins and turns to Lesley. You, though, you seem to have fun with those three. Tell me, what did you think?
Oh, I thought they were quite lovely.
Did you give them a gift? Did they give you a gift?
As a matter of fact, that is exactly what happened. Were you watching? Would you like a gift?
I would love you to give me a gift.
Oh, that was kind of sinister, but I'm still gonna go for it. Do you have? I don't suppose you have a little cup on you. Well, that's really unfortunate. Is there any more stuff that could hold liquid?
You take a look around. There's nothing natural lying around that you can see.
Balrick, do you have a little bit of skin on you? You know, some leather. Just spare, just skin that we can mend.
Skin.
Let's not get back on the mending thing again.
Just a little bit of leather, like a scrap.
Oh, I don't know. All right, maybe.
Alright.
Sure.
See what?
I mean, I am really, but yeah, I can try and make this.
You've got all sorts of offcuts, I'm sure. It feels like the sort of thing you'd have to mend your disgusting cape.
Come, I don't have all day. You promised me a gift.
I'm really sorry. Well, I'm really sorry. I can't give you the wine because I need most of this. If I stop drinking for more than an hour, it's really bad for the liver. But I do have this, and Lesley is gonna bring out. Oh, just before, do you have any problems with precious metal, silvers and stuff? That's okay, right? Some folk are weird about silver. And Lesley's gonna give her a silver ring that he found at some point and is just in his inventory. It's got a clear stone on it, and I do not remember where I picked it up.
Why, thank you. A gift freely given deserves a gift freely given in return. So let me bestow upon you a gift of my own design. And they place a hand upon your wrist, and you feel a flush of magic, and a swirl of dust echoes from the hand and settles on your wrist. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
I'm not a very wise person.
Lesley, wise? That seems to mix up.
They're the wisest person I know.
It's the first time I've rolled below an 11 today. So it's a 5.
A 5. You see this dust settle on your hand, and then and you see it sink in, and this faint, dark purple glow seeps into your veins and flushes up you, and you feel lightheaded for a second, and the grip is gone. It goes, gifts repaid in kind. Be careful who you talk to while in the forest. The witch of the forest does not mind trespassers. Good day, and maybe never see each other again.
She doesn't mind them. She doesn't mind trespassers. She's fine with them.
Don't mind them.
She doesn't mind.
Oh, that was a weird interaction. What a creepy little thing.
Let's give me another wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
What did they give you?
I'm not too sure. 11. Some weird dust on my hand. Maybe
Lesley, you just stop talking. Your eyes just glass over for a second.
Well, do you feel anything? Lesley? Lesley?
Lesley.
Shit. Lesley.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, maybe it's just some dust. Hear things about pixie dust all the time.
Are you alright, Lesley?
Yeah, of course. Do
Would
I feel
make an
weird?
Arcana check to see what that was?
Sure.
Maybe it was drugs.
We want
Do you
that.
like drugs?
Dirty 20?
Dirty 20. Okay. You kind of take a look over Lesley. And like as you like touch a hand on them, you feel nauseous touching them. You are distinctly aware that some sort of curse has been placed on Lesley.
I'm gonna touch her and go, ugh.
Oh, right.
I'm
Bit much.
I'm sure that was magical. I don't know if you got that from that flying fairy thing, but I think Lesley has been cursed.
Curse?
It feels like Lesley's been cursed somehow.
Oh my god, are the tentacles back?
I mean, if one of us was going to be...
I don't have any way to sort out curses.
I wouldn't know how. Well, we've got to do something about it.
Oh, maybe there's curse. Maybe it's like, every piece of water I touch turns to wine. I've heard about that one.
No,
Come on, let's see. No.
I think the curse is a curse.
Oh
Togrim,
no.
Can you figure out what the curse does?
Maybe
Wisdom save, Lesley.
with some more studying.
17.
17.
I don't know if I can do
There's
anything.
Hot dice after.
There's a moment of dizziness, but you stay in the conversation.
Whoa. Maybe it was drugs.
I have identify, but I don't have the bloody 100 GP gold pearl to use it.
Tauri does, because Tauri's done that spell before.
No, she
Tauri did something else.
Detect
she
magic.
did detect magic.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so we need to get a pearl. Is that what we need?
Oh, I
That's
think
what I'd
we.
need for the spell. I know, but can I do anything else in the meantime, Gethin? Like medicine checks or something?
Yeah, roll me a medicine check. Go on.
Personally, I think our best bet is to try and find this hat.
Let's find the swamp witch.
This witch
She sounds like she entertains visitors frequently and graciously.
I mean, the fairy did say that she didn't mind visitors.
Well, maybe she couldn't get rid of the curse, right?
Yeah, although it's not usually. I think the stories usually tell that witches don't give you things for free.
All right, we'll pay. You have money, Balrick.
Oh, this would be a right scam witch. She's got a servant that curses you and then tells you to go to her to get it fixed, and then you're in debt. That's a proper scam, that is.
I think that's a fantastic business model, actually.
Yeah.
We should congratulate her on her sly acumen.
I suppose technically that doesn't make us trespass anymore. We, looking for
We're
help.
customers.
We are.
We got that in.
Yes.
We've been given a gift, so we're guests. So rules of hospitality.
I mean, not by the swamp witch though.
It was a 17 on the medicine check.
17. You're not 100% certain. You are not someone who's done anything with curses before. It's not your wheelhouse. But it's a trickster curse, if anything. It doesn't feel life-threatening. It doesn't feel like this is panic stations. It feels like something that is annoying and a little malicious.
Okay.
That's what people say about Lesley.
I don't think we have any way to deal with it right now, whatever it is.
Doesn't seem to be an issue.
we should probably try and find somewhere to make a camp before it gets too much darker, and we can just keep an eye on Lesley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like
Unless you
That's
guys
all we
have
can
any
do,
better
really.
ideas. They don't look like they're hurting themselves right now.
I haven't got any good ideas.
So,
It's at this point, Balrick, you do notice the next symbol that you were looking for, heading slightly northwest in this direction, a plus sign carved into a tree. You're still on the right path.
Excellent. We'll keep going this way. Follow this path. We'll find ourselves somewhere to rest. No more rest for the night.
Does someone want to roll me a d10?
I did the last one.
I'll do it.
And got Leslie's silence, so maybe you should do it again.
10.
10. Interesting. Didn't know if this would come up. As you're wandering along, Ximori, every so often, Lesley, roll me another wisdom save. As you're wandering along, Ximori, Balrick, machete out, carving way through the wood. 3 for Lesley. Ximori, you bump into a Lesley who's just stood still and is just watching leaves tumble, glassy-eyed.
Just waving in front of Leslie's face.
Tell me to stop.
And then Lesley snaps back.
Right, this is going to take forever with you.
So at that point, you spot something through the trees. A distance away, a stag. A majestic white stag with dappled blue spots along the fur. Your eyes are just drawn to it. Lesley, you're next to them, and like you follow their eye line coming out of this, and you are drawn into their eyes, which are the darkest colour of night. And they stare directly into you. Each of you, as all of your attentions are grabbed, and you feel like it is staring at each of you individually. And you would get lost in those eyes if it were not for the majestic starlight that comes from its antlers in the shadowy trees. Forgotten forests, do not forget. Be careful where you tread. Wrath and fire. His vengeance is renewed. Does anyone do anything? You are hearing this in your head.
I try and look away.
You look away. You're taken in by the rest of the forest. What are the rest of you doing?
I said dead at the start. I'm not. My eyes aren't leaving it.
Just going to walk slowly and non-threateningly towards the stag.
Leslie's gonna ask if Ximori wants to give the stag some wine
I just
and
put my
continue eating his little fruit.
face and just...
Aderyn's just gonna ask, who are you?
I am a guardian of power older than you, and older than those that claim dominion.
What power?
Forgotten forests, do not forget.
It would be nice to know of them then, if you are willing to share.
You all walk a line. A line of fire and fate. Take care to fall upon the right side. And then it springs off into the trees, and you lose sight of it.
Did I still hear that even though I was looking away?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna quickly rush over to see if I can see its tracks.
Roll a survival check.
Eater 37.
20. Dirty 20.
It had tracks. It was not a figment of your imagination. Its speed is incredible. Dodging and weaving through the forest, you would not be able to chase this thing down if you tried.
We just saw something powerful there. That was ancient and powerful being there.
It said a guardian of forests that have been forgotten. Do you think there's things like that in other forests in other parts?
Maybe. Forest always.
In this instance, Tauri maybe would be able to tell us a bit more about the Woad. The old Woad.
Woad.
Sorry, I was trying to remember.
We all
She's rolled well, I'll tell you that. This is a super high DC, so even she may not know it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Would somebody with proficiency in religion be able to make a check?
This is not a religion thing.
Oh.
Tauri makes comment to... She's read that forest spirits and protectors of forests is a common trope through history. Although she has no record of it. She's never read of a stag like this, by any means. But it is a point of interest to research upon. The important thing about Tauri is she's not had access to majestic libraries. She's not been to that kind of degree. Do you push on?
How
follow it.
for those of us with...
You're starting to get to dusk at this point. But you only have... Well, I was going to say, you only have 2 more symbols, but it's at this point, as you're wandering back, Balrick, you spot the penultimate symbol.
Mm-hmm.
So you're fairly confident you are close to whatever is at the end of these symbols.
I mean...
I think we need to rest up soon.
Yeah, if that's the case, I mean, this seems as good as any.
Is it dry forest here, or are we still sort of in the swampy forest?
You've moved away from the swamp. This is still damp, temperate forest. But there's less standing water around and the river banks.
Can I try and find some solid-ish ground? Or a rock?
I mean, I think, if we get up in the trees, we'll sleep in the trees.
I don't think I can get Pebble up in the trees.
Oh, Pebble can guard from bottom of the tree.
True. Pebble could just sit at the bottom.
Is that what you want to do?
Or I can try set up some hammocks.
Ooh, a hammock sounds quite nice.
You are close to what Fiddler considered the end of their journey. And based on the rough travel times between previous stop points, it's never more than an hour between markers.
Do we just push on?
This might be a hag.
I think we might want to rest before we see the hag that we've been warned doesn't like visitors.
If we end up facing a hag, if the hag's not impressed with us, I'm not sure there's an alt we can do about that.
Tauri chimes in. We could just talk rather than fight.
That doesn't sound very Tauri.
Very Tauri. She's a merchant.
I mean, we need to find
She
some...
gave Ximori bardic inspiration to kill.
Because she was in the middle of a fight. Oh.
That's fair, that's fair.
I mean, we need to find some gifts anyway, so... You know... Was it
I do think that
fruit? Some bats, they'll come out around night.
I do think that even fully arrested, it's not like we can. I think a hag's going to be beyond us regardless. This is going to be a powerful person thing.
Yeah.
We're not
We
even
need
looking
to
for the hag.
We're
We're
not
looking for the fiddler.
Yeah, but she'll know where to go.
Unless we just wait for him to come back.
If we take
You know,
a bit
don't go to the hag's house, but wait nearby.
We don't know that he will come back.
Take a bit of time to find some of the find some gifts for the hag anyway. Yeah. Or auntie, I guess, as they probably prefer.
Yeah.
Around dusk, the bats should come out, so we can get one of them. Maybe.
Was that a like or a dislike? I can't remember.
They are high in potassium.
So I think bats were good. Off fruit was good, I think, or like slightly off fruit.
Lesley still has his little bit of his fruit. He can leave it for a while.
With a bite taken out of it.
A couple of bites now.
Right.
Shall we settle down for a rest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just take it easy this evening and look for sorry. Maybe we can just take it easy this evening and look for some little trinkets and odds and ends she might like.
Lesley, roll a wisdom save.
18.
Okay.
Okay.
I think hammocks are probably a good idea if we set up here.
I'll try my best.
Don't worry
Well,
about
now
it.
you've promised us hammocks. I quite like a hammock.
If I'm off the ground, I can't be get back in the ground, so I'm going up a tree. Roll for hammock, Balrick.
You don't need to roll for hammocks every time. You
But this is the first time.
You've done hammocks before.
Individual hammocks, 6 hammocks. One's an 8, one's an 8, one's an 8. Just rolled 3 8s in a row.
I wasn't sure if you were doing a bit.
No, rolled 3 8s in a row. Nat 20, Nat 1.
That's Lesley.
16.
Jim's on the best one.
Lesley, roll an insight check.
That's
There's really slack in the middle.
10.
That's the best one.
10. You're fairly convinced one of the 8s is the best one.
Sorry, it's not a 10. It's a 9.
This
Three
one's
very-
completely tall.
3 very mid ones. 3 very mid ones. 1 good one. One that has like the zip up cover on top of it. And then one that's just a blanket on the ground. It's got some string that attaches to a tree.
One
Lesley knows that's not the
completely
one to
tall.
pin.
It's just completely like full tension.
The moment you lie on it, it spins.
Okay.
Fuck this, I'm going up a tree. I say, climbing a tree.
You just leopard
I
it.
don't think that's intended for a restaurant.
Hey, it's up to you what you
Climbing
do.
speed of 45 feet. I'm going up that tree.
You perfectly climb a tree, and just
Yeah.
like a leopard, you're just like around the tree branch like that. Just legs
And then take my
arms
50
akimbo.
Let's take my 50 foot of hempen rope and just like tie a bit around my trunk and a bit around the trunk.
Yeah.
Little safety belt.
But as you decide to settle in using some of the leftover rations you have that I assume you took with you.
Few days worth.
The sun begins to set and darkness creeps over the camp, the shadows amongst the trees getting longer and longer. And as sight begins to fail you or turn to grey for some of you, sounds of the forest pick up as your other senses take over. You are distinctly aware that this forest is very much alive, it's very much wild, and very much not a safe place to camp out in the wild. But I do think there is a decent place for us to stop. So we will continue telling this story next time as you approach the end of Fiddler's Trail, hoping to find a resolution to what brought you into this wood. But until then, see you next time.